For our project, we're looking at color value. When we talk about value, we think about how much or how little something has. Like in math, if you have a lot of something, you usually have a higher value. If you have a little bit of something, you usually have a lower value of it. In art, it's the same with color value. It's how much or how little color you have. For our project, we're going to be using color value, so light to dark or dark to light, to create contrast in our project, so that way it appears more 3D. Here's an example of our project. I use colored pencils and a regular pencil, and you may also need scissors. So when we go to shade, focus on adding detail, pressing harder, that way it appears 3D. For the candy cane project, I'm going to make my own tracer. You do not have to, you could just draw your candy canes if you want. The best way to kind of make the candy cane shape is like you're making a letter J. I curved it in a little bit more at the bottom. Then I come up, get the thickness of the candy cane, and around. I'm going to cut it out. And again, you don't have to do this step, but if you want all your candy canes to kind of be the same size, you can. Okay, now that I have my tracer, I'm going to put on my paper. This tracer is a little flimsy, so you really have to hold it down. Doesn't have to be perfect. Maybe I want another one right here, but instead of it going on top of that one, I don't want to draw through that first one I made, because that way it looks like it's on top. Now let's say I accidentally trace the whole thing. And I drew it through my first one. It's not a big deal, you just have to decide, do you want this candy cane to be on top of this one, or this one to be on top? So if I erase these two lines, it's going to give the illusion that this one is on top of that theirs. I'm going to turn maybe this way, have it go off of my paper. Gonna have one kind of off the page here. Wherever you want to put yours. But have a couple of them overlap. I think. One more because I had all this empty space. All right. After I have my candy canes, I'm going to focus on coloring one at a time. So to have the stripes in it, I'm going to do some curved lines. And as I go, it's going to wrap around that candy cane. If it's easier for you to move your sketchbook as you do it. So that's starting to make it look more 3D. Then choose the colors you want. If I want my pattern to be this reddish color, maybe a green. But now it's making it look flat. So in order to make it appear more 3D or real, I need to add shading and color value. So I press a little bit harder on the edges of it. And notice how I don't go straight up and down whenever I add the shading. Kind of going side to side. So again, I color it all in first. I press harder on the edges. So now I'm starting to get the highlight right in the middle. If you're not seeing that and you're using colored pencil, you can always use your eraser to try to erase some of it. And you'll keep going. You can do different patterns for each one. And then after you finish them, we're going to go a step beyond and add shading to the table itself, or whatever surface they're laying on. More of a shadow to the table. Determine where you want your light coming from. So I'm probably going to see a shadow. I'm using the side of my pencil to get the graphite very lightly onto the paper. I'm going to see a shadow over here. Then also on this side of my candy cane. And then to make it look a little more real, you just take your finger and you blend that. So then you can move on to your next one.